All right, guys, let's get this done. Get you back to that World Series.
What were you thinking with the starting lineup? Were you experimenting? Or
I knew that was going to be the first question. Just trying, just getting some guys some different opportunities. We're not a program that really worries about who the starters are. So, I just thought it was an opportunity to get some guys some different minutes. Obviously, Tobe, didn't play last game, so I wanted to get him some early minutes, and wanted to give Braden some minutes at that point guard early, but nothing much more than that.
Nothing disciplinary then or anything?
Nope. Not at all. We have great kids.
When you review a tape or a game like this, how do you look at it, given the disparity?
The first off, I'm happy that all of our guys got an opportunity to play. We practice almost every day. So, these guys really contribute to our program in a lot of ways. So I'm glad they got to, get out in front of the crowd and wear the Arizona jersey, and Mikhail's pretty special. As far as evaluating it, we'll go through. I'll watch, the first half or, the first, 10 minutes or something. And I know there's going to be some things because, they made 4 threes basically before the first media timeout and ended up with 6. But I think that's a great lesson for our guys, 2 ways. One, you got to come out from the tip ready to execute your plan, and you don't ease into a game. Okay, so we got to do that. 2, teams sometimes make early threes. Don't panic. Adjust. And I think they made 2 the rest of the game, and I didn't feel like they had a lot of great looks after those first couple, and so we'll look at it from that lens. I think offensively, I felt like our guys did a better job today, kind of. Obviously we were bigger and more physical than them and taking advantage of that and making a lot of simple plays.
Just a micro minute there, but do you think those threes they had early had anything to do with you were playing 2 bigs? Did that change the defense?
We'll have to see. I'm sure it could have something to do with it. It could have something to do with it, but that's why you do it. I'm a believer that, you can say you're playing the 2 bigs and you can make it like this most part thing, but I believe they can get better. Can't they get better? Or if they give up 2 threes in the first game, is that set the course all year for how they're going to defend? I think those things happen, and I think you learn from them and you grow and you have a growth mindset and you get better, and so that's what I'm looking for. So you know what, I'm thankful they hit them because that'll be something we can learn from.
I know obviously you were the bigger and more physical team and all that, but after St. Mary's, there was a little bit of concern individually with some rebounding. Just the overall rebounding performance.
There was no concern from me. Obviously we had an important player not playing, who makes a difference. I hope Tobe's available every game we play this year. That makes a difference for us on the glass. Secondly, I know St. Mary's is a great rebounding team. I told our guys, they were number 1 in the country in defensive rebound percentage, last year. So they have a really sound plan on how they defensive rebound, and how you have to offensive rebound against them is you have to break down their defense, get them in rotations, okay, and then you got to be relentless in your force and your pursuit of offensive rebounds. If you're just half-assing your attempts, against St. Mary's, you're not going to get rebounds. So I thought it was a great lesson for us to learn. We want to be a great rebounding team, and we understand that there's an every possession, mentality that takes.
Realizing you were experimenting anyway in the second half, but Creep Moat didn't play after halftime, and then I think you just used Tobe a little bit too. Was that because you didn't need it?
Well, I thought the game was pretty well in control. And those guys are really important players for us. And I would have felt like I wasn't doing the program justice by playing those guys had some freak accident happened.
Where do you think you're going to get your shots from the perimeter, deep perimeter? Ivan looks like you're.
I think Deli's a pretty good shooter, right? Braden's a good shooter, right? I think JB's made some threes in his life. He may not be his strength, but he's done it. Okay, yeah, I think Ivan's capable of making threes. I think Dwayne's capable of making threes. So. I feel like, shooting, we're going to be fine. But again, I've always told you guys, we're not trying to build a team here that shoots 30 or 40 threes a game, but I would like to shoot 33 free throws every game. To me, there's a trade-off in this stuff. So, and it all comes down to your values and what you value. And we're a team, I like threes. I have no problem with them, but I love free throws. I love layups.
That's going to get a lot of layups.
I hope so.
A lot of guys get downhill.
Haven't all our teams gotten a lot of layups?
Layups?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, just go check on paint points. Check on paint points, and that'll point you in the right direction.
Feeling in general at this point, 2 exhibitions now, just you know this team, you're going to need 3 or 4 of these freshmen to come through. Obviously, Braden, Koa, Ivan, they've proven themselves. Do you feel pretty confident?
I feel great. I feel right where we need to be. Obviously, I know we have a huge challenge coming up next week. I don't think the success of our season or Florida season is dependent on one game on November 3rd, but I think it's a great opportunity for both programs to get out there and really learn about themselves. And, every season's its own journey. And, we've kind of gotten through the initial stages. Now it's time to play some games that count, in the standings. So I'm excited. I feel good where we're at. And if we don't play good on Monday, I'm still going to feel okay. I mean, we're gonna learn from everything that we do, and our goal is to get better, week by week, game by game. We're going to keep a real simple growth mindset.
Are you taking tomorrow off, or is tomorrow the start of Florida prep?
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Probably get a massage, relax. I mean, of course, we're going to start, preparing. We've been preparing for, a long time, just as everybody has. I mean, and how do you prepare? Well, you do some scouting, but at the end of the day, early in the year, you're trying to help your team figure out their values, their identity. And, so we're still honing in on that and really focusing on ourselves will be the main course of action for the week.
Like where CD and Mobile are at this point and what they've shown you?
And they're great. They're really contributing. They're helping in practice every day. CD was banged up to start, so I'm really, really happy that he's been, had a good, good run of good health. And I think that's going to help his development. It's going to help our practices. So I love both those kids. I mean, they're really special individuals that have great stories. And I hopefully the community in Tucson and the University of Arizona gets to know those kids because they're really inspirational.
Do you feel like, I don't know if it matters even anymore, but could either of those guys register? Is that
For sure. We've talked that there might be some opportunity for some guys to redshirt, but we have kind of, the next few days to really dig into that stuff.
You mentioned Braden at the point, giving him some minutes at the point. How do you think he did, and what's his progression been?
I mean, Braden's good. I mean, Braden's a really good point guard, but he's also a really good two guard. So, he's that kind of modern day combo guard, and he can play with another point guard. He can handle those duties by himself. So, I think it's important, to kind of, make sure we got to remember, he's a really good player, but he's still a freshman. So we got to help him, by giving him some different experiences. And the one thing he's proven to me is that he's a great learner.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a random question. I was curious if any of the, you see these guys all the time, any of the walk-ons jump out at you with what they do in a game like that?
I don't know what Embry-Riddle did to upset Sven, but Sven was great today. And Sven, Sven's a great story. And I know obviously I'm saying that jokingly, but Sven's worked really hard. I mean, he's a great story. I mean, he kind of came over here and took a trip to Tucson and University of Arizona kind of blind. And, he just kind of, luckily, he and I crossed paths. And he's really, really worked hard to get better, and he's really helping in practice. And, I thought Addison was great. I'm happy that Jackson, he made that three, in front of the bench. I thought Evan Nelson, he's going to hopefully get some rotation minutes here and there. I thought he played really good today. I thought Bryce showed effort, and he's getting better, and Mobile's getting better. So I'm happy for all those guys because they're an important part of what we do. I mean, every guy on this roster belongs on this team, and we value the contributions that everybody brings to the table.
Just a quick question. Do you have any thoughts on the G League guys being able to come back?
I mean, I'm not going to get into this and that. I will say this. I'm happy for those kids because you know what? They made a decision, and they went down a path that maybe ended up being the right direction. I'm happy that they get another opportunity, to kind of reset, and I'm hopeful that it's a great experience for them coming to college, and it really changes the course of their lives and their careers. As for the eligibility, the NCAA, allowing this and that, it's obviously the wild, wild west. And so, it's just so unpredictable. it's just tough when you sit in the coach's seat and the rules are literally changing by, I don't know, it seems like by the week, with that stuff. But I'm not going to would never hold that against any of those kids. And I hope that we look back in 5 years and we say, you know what, that was grateful. Those kids took advantage of a second chance, and it really changed the course of their lives. I'm hopeful we can all say that.
Recruiting in any sense?
I have not looked at a transfer portal list in including G League players, so I couldn't even tell you what the options are. So.
Been able to come in and get some nice shots up. What is he able to do for this team?
Well, Evan's experience, Evan, he's obviously an older guy. He has a lot of experience, but I think it's a great story that you talk about a local kid who grew up idolizing Arizona basketball. I know, he has a relationship with Kyle Fogg. Kyle was at practice a couple of days ago, and that's really cool. And that relationship goes, back to the days when, Evan was in his early teens, so that's really cool. I think that's awesome stuff. So I know every day he comes to practice, he really understands and values what it means to put that Arizona jersey on. So I think that's important. That's a good culture driver for us. And like Evan, and listen, he's a good player in his own right. So I think he's going to have some really special moments this year. See you guys.